everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am back to talk about all of the fragrances that I wore last week. So I have I've got 8 different fragrances here. I'm just going to jump right in. So the first one is one that I pulled out for a recent crowd pleaser video that I did, and I couldn't put it back away until I wore it. This is Britney Spears' VIP Private Show, and I adore this fragrance. I'm going to be doing a video soon about long-lasting, affordable fragrances, and you guys, spoiler alert, you will be seeing this one in that video as well, because this fragrance lasts forever. For being like a really inexpensive celebrity fragrance, this is one that I can wear to work and I will smell it 10 hours later. I will smell it when I get home from work. I work very long days, so I like to wear perfumes that can hang in there for the entire day. And this is one that can. This is beautiful. It's sugary, it's sweet, it's fun, it's youthful, it's juicy, but mostly it's just like a sugary, sweet, yummy, juicy fragrance. I just love it. It lasts absolutely forever on me, and it's just a beautiful fragrance. So that is the first one that I wore, Britney Spears VIP Private Show. Next, this is one that I just started craving. That'll happen to me with fragrances. I will not have worn them for a while and I'll just start craving something, and that was the case with this next one. This is Guerlain My Insolence. I do have 2 bottles of this, thank goodness. This is discontinued and it's very, very difficult to find. I love this. This is just a smooth, slightly gourmand, vanilla, slightly powdery. It's almost got like a heliotrope almond type vibe to it. I do believe it's got some almond in it. It's like an almond. It's just a beautiful like vanillic almond, slightly powdery scent. It smells much more expensive than it was when it was available. This I don't know. I have a feeling that they discontinued this because it's very close to something from the Arts and Materials line, if that's what that one is called. This reminds me a lot of French Kiss from that line. I do have like a big 4 ml sample of French Kiss, and I have tested these side by side, and they do have a lot of notes in common. They've got, so this one I believe is like raspberry and lemon in the top, and the French Kiss is like, I don't know, some other kind of berry and lemon. They're just very similar to me. But yeah, I do love this. It's just a super beautiful, unique, cozy, but really can work in any weather. I wore this on a hot day because I was just craving it and I didn't care that it was warm out, and it did just fine in the heat. And I did get a compliment that day. I was told that I smelled smooth. So that I smelled good and I smelled smooth. Like I say, this gives me almond, it gives me like almond vibes. But anyways, that is Guerlain My Insolence. Next, I wore one that I just added to my collection not too long ago. This is Miyake Pleats Please Low, and I love this. This is it's like a light, slightly sweet, sharp smelling floral, and the sharpness comes from patchouli, I believe, and it's just beautiful. It's very hot weather appropriate. It smells like spring, summer. It's very fresh. It's very crisp. It's, like I say, it's got a sharpness to it, but in a good way. And I just love it. I usually don't love, like, I don't know. I'm usually not a huge fan of like a floral patchouli fragrance, but there's something about this one that's just beautiful. I love it. Performance on this is not the best. Oh, let me tell you about performance on this one. So My Insolence from Guerlain, I wore this to work. This gets me through an entire workday, no problem. Pleats Please it's not horrible, but it's not wonderful. I probably couldn't get through an entire workday with this one. This is one that I'll get probably about 6 hours out of. If I really, really oversprayed it, I probably could make it through a workday with it, but this is one that I would be afraid to overspray because it might be headache inducing if you did that. But yeah, this is definitely a good like 6 hours, a very solid like medium range performing fragrance, if that makes any sense. It's not horrible, it's not the best. It's decent. So that is Issey Miyake Pleats Please Low. And next is another one that I pulled out from my crowd pleaser video and I couldn't put it away until I wore it. This is Dolce, this is Dolce & Gabbana Dolce Peony. And this is just a beautiful, sweet, it's just a beautiful, sweet, fruity floral fragrance. It's like a grown-up fruity floral. It smells youthful, but it doesn't smell like, I don't know, there's just something a little bit more grown-up about this. It's got like a creaminess to it. It's got almost like a buttery aspect to it, like a buttery quality. It's really, really beautiful. Juicy fruits, florals with like a butter, you know, like a creamy, almost butter-like quality. I know that sounds weird, but I get that. And that actually translates on the skin as well. That beautiful kind of smooth, almost buttery aspect comes through on the skin as well, on my skin anyways. It's really, really beautiful. It's just a beautiful fruity floral fragrance that is a super crowd pleaser. I did wear this to work. I overspray this one. I usually do about 8 sprays with this, and on clothing, skin, hair, everything. And it does get me through an entire 10-hour workday. So I really love this one. It's such a beautiful summer. This is a good all year round fragrance, but I really love it in the heat. So that is Dolce & Gabbana Dolce Peony. Next, we have got one that I have not worn in a while. This doesn't perform well at all, which is why I don't wear it very often, but I absolutely love this fragrance. This is called Pearl from Rive, and this is a beautiful shampoo-y fragrance. You get a lot of alcohol with this because this is a very, very affordable fragrance. Rive fragrances are usually anywhere between like $10 and $15. So you do get like a massive alcohol blast at first with this, and you do on the skin as well. But this is a beautiful, sweet, clean, shampoo-y fragrance. It's got some fruits in it, I believe. Very clean, just crisp, sweet. It's gorgeous. It's almost got like a little bit of a peppery thing going on too. It maybe has some pink pepper in it. I'm not totally sure. I haven't looked up the notes on this one for a very long time, but yeah, I could see this maybe having a touch of pepper in the top. It's really, really beautiful. And this one does really beautiful things on the skin. It smells beautiful in the bottle, but it's really beautiful on the skin. This is one that like whatever I had been wearing that day had worn off, and so it was in the evening and I just wanted to spray something on so I could have some perfume on, but I didn't really care about longevity at all at that point. So I grabbed this and I sprayed it on, and after I did, I was like, oh, it's so beautiful. And then I walked out to a different part of the house where my mom was, and she got a whiff of it and she was like, gosh, whatever you just sprayed on smells so good. And I was like, yeah, it's this really inexpensive little gem that I have, and it's really beautiful. So anyways, that is Rive Pearl. Very beautiful, very affordable, but not very good performing perfume. Okay, next is another one that I wore in the evening and to bed. This is another one that I was just craving. I love this fragrance. This is Rose Jam from Lush, and this is a beautiful, just like the name says, it's a beautiful jammy rose. And it doesn't have a lot of notes in it. It's just a bunch of different roses and maybe vetiver. I think maybe vetiver. But this to me has a beautiful creaminess to it. I swear it smells like it's got, I don't know, it's also got kind of a buttery quality to it. It's very creamy smelling, and that, again, it translates on my skin. It's very comforting, it's very warm, it's very well-rounded. It's a smooth rose. I love this fragrance. This is one that I will just crave. It's such a gorgeous rose fragrance, but it's not like an old-fashioned smelling rose. It's not a traditional smelling rose. To me, anyways, it's just this beautiful, like buttery, jammy rose. I love it. This lasts really, really well too. I have a massage bar that I'll use like as a lotion, and then I'll wear this over it, like I'll layer this over it, and I can easily get through a full 10-hour workday. I just love this, but I did wear it to bed. I was super happy that night. I could still smell it when I woke up the next morning, and it's just a beautiful fragrance. So that is Rose Jam from Lush. The next one I wore, this is another one that I wore to bed. I love this fragrance. I forget how much I love this. This reminds me, it's kind of got like a vintage vibe to me. It takes me back to the 80s for some reason, but it's not a vintage style perfume. This is Jasmins Marzipane from Lancome. And this is basically jasmine and almond. It is so beautiful. It's just yummy. It's like an edible almond too. It's like an almond, well, marzipan. I mean, perfect name for it. It's like an edible, like almond paste, like pastry. The jasmine isn't like an overly floral jasmine. It's just gorgeous. This is creamy and it's like borderline gourmand. Super comforting. Like I say, there's something about this that reminds me of the 80s. It brings me back to like my childhood. There's something really, really nostalgic smelling about this that I really, really love. So yeah, I did wear that one to bed, and I just really enjoy this fragrance. So that is Lancome's Jasmine Marzipane. Performance on this one is pretty darn good. It's not, I would say it's like the, Pleats Please, where it's not like the best performing fragrance in the world, but it's not the worst either. I bet if you oversprayed this, you could easily get 10 plus hours out of it. But I wore it to bed that night, so I just sprayed a few sprays on, and yeah, I couldn't smell it anymore when I woke up in the morning, but I bet if I oversprayed it, I could get better performance out of this. But yeah, typically I get about 6 hours. Not the worst, not the best. But anyways, Jasmine's Marzipane from Lancome. And then last but not least, this is a fragrance that lasts absolutely forever. I adore this fragrance. This fragrance is the closest thing I have in my collection to the actual fragrance of a gardenia flower. This is an oil from the Sage Lifestyle, and this one is called Moonstone, and this literally, it smells exactly like you're putting your nose into a gardenia bloom. It smells exactly like gardenia. It's fresh, it's slightly sweet, it's beautiful. It's so fragrant, just like a gardenia that's been in like the humid heat here in the South all day long smells at the end of the day. That's what this smells like. It is amazing. It's not like an old-fashioned gardenia. It's not, again, it's not like a mature gardenia smell. It's not a vintage gardenia smell. This is like a true to life, like photorealistic gardenia fragrance. I adore it. I love it so much. These Sage Lifestyle perfume oils last forever on me too. I put this on in the morning. This easily got me through a 10-hour workday. I could still smell it at the end of the day. I do, a lot of the time the way I will apply these is I'll put it on both sides of my neck, I'll put it on my arms, and then I'll go back in and I'll like dab it all over my arms, and then I'll dab it kind of on my clothing to try to not leave any kind of oil stains on my clothing. I don't know how to explain it. It's like I dab it so that it gets into the fabric of my clothing, but without like leaving any kind of a concentrated spot on my clothes. That really helps me with the longevity. And then I'll kind of rub my hair into the back of my neck and things so that it gets into my hair. I just try to disperse these oils all over so that I'm kind of in this cloud of fragrance oil, and it works. It works for me. It lasts all day, and I absolutely love this one. So that is the Sage Lifestyle Moonstone. Such a gorgeous, like I say, photorealistic gardenia fragrance that lasts absolutely forever. So anyways, guys, those are all of the fragrances that I wore last week. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.